You're listening to the greatest multifamily investment advice show. My name is Adam Ras, and now I'm talking everything multifamily for an in-depth conversation, and I will be diving deep into raising capital, deals, and underwriting process. Welcome back to the greatest multifamily advice show. Today we have Julius Oni, real estate and syndicator with amazing journey in raising capital, public speaker, and been on the syndication for more than 4 years. Please help me to welcome our today guest. How are you, Julius?
I'm wonderful. Thank you, Adam. Really appreciate the opportunity to speak on your platform.
Thanks a lot. I would like to start with you today on what was the upside for you as a surgeon to switch to multifamily.
Well, I wouldn't call it a switch. It's more of a segue while still doing what I love. Just like as you mentioned, I'm an orthopedic surgeon by trade, but as a surgeon, I still was pretty much a highly paid skilled worker, and no matter what I wanted, there was no way that I could pass that down to my progenies, and create a true legacy with that, because who knows, my daughters may not want to be an orthopedic surgeon. And even if they do, they will still be a highly paid skilled workers too, So particularly around early 2020s, I started to, when COVID shut everything down, I started to think very deeply about, what other things I could be doing to buy some of my time freedom back, so that I could do some of the things that I truly love to do, like volunteering, like charity work, like trying to expand access to musculoskeletal care in other parts of the world where there's less access. Some of those things required a lot of time, but I couldn't necessarily extract myself to do those things because I had to meet certain quotas and with my work, and or certain targets rather with my work. So multifamily was one step in that direction. And at that time, I had invested in single family. I had done some angel investing. And if you know the world of angel investing, well, it's a high risk, high reward type setup where you're investing in almost 10 companies. And if you're lucky, maybe 2 of them do very well, but you hope that they make up for the all 10 investments. So and thankfully I've been pretty lucky. I've batted a pretty good average with my angel investments, but those are not cash flowing investments. They're not going to cash flow on a monthly basis like something like multifamily. And also, when you think about the tax benefits of multifamily, once I started to realize those, oh my God, it just made all the sense in the world to explore it. And I was lucky, particularly in my case, to have amazing partners, Leslie Awesome and Tanny Tolofari are my partners and at Excite Capital. And they just, Leslie in particular was the one who introduced me to multifamily. And when I made the decision to really jump in the water and explore it, I partnered with these 2 guys because they were full of integrity, honesty. We shared a lot of the same values. We shared the value of growth, of abundance mindset. We shared the value of, of daring to be unique and exploring things that most people in our communities just didn't really think was possible. So when we saw that we shared those common values and that we had complementary strengths, it just made sense to band together and go on this journey together. And the proof is in the pudding. The moment we got together, within 4 months, we closed our first deal. And
I think this is important, as you mentioned, like finding the right partner. This is the main thing to scale your portfolio on syndication, because it's a game business. It's not a solo business. You cannot be a lone wolf.
It's a team sport for sure. That's exactly what you're saying. Absolutely. It's absolutely a team sport, and like the saying goes, you want to go fast, you go by yourself. You want to go far and wide, and have great impact, you go with others.
Yeah.
And I was lucky to find my clan in those two gentlemen. And now we as a team are now finding our clan in our community of investors who have now believed in the vision and are coming along on this journey with us. And really, what really got us to say, you know what, we definitely got to do this was we noticed that many people in our community of healthcare professionals or immigrant communities or underrepresented minority communities just didn't have access to this. When we started going to all the conferences, we noticed, I mean, a lot of other professions were represented: engineers, lawyers, business people, people who have their primary degrees or whatnot, but everybody was represented. We didn't see many healthcare professionals. We didn't see,
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
So that we're like, and these are like folks that sometimes well paid, but you just don't know what to do with that capital that they accumulated. So we figured that at the least we could go into our community of healthcare folks and educate them, because my other partner, Leslie, is a CRNA. We actually met in the hospital. He's a registered nursing anesthetist. It was putting my patients to sleep and I was operating on them. That's how we met. So so that was the first step. And then we also noticed, to be frank, the vast majority of people in this space are white guys. There was not that many there wasn't that much gender diversity. There wasn't that much ethnic diversity. And so we wanted to at the least also spread this word, and that's in our community of particularly Black and brown professionals, who and let folks at least know that this is an alternative asset class that you can invest in besides your stock investment, your crypto investment, your maxing out your 401k. This is another way that you can actually grow your wealth. And for us, it was important to grow our community's minds, the minds of our investors, so that they are empowered to either go and do it themselves or partner with us to do it.
100%. Let's get back to the main point here for looking for active sponsor to work with you. What was the main thing you're looking for when you're looking for a partnership?
That is a great question. I mean, when it came down to it, was like really people who shared our values, those same core values I just mentioned. We wanted people who really cared about, who cared about others, about helping others, because that's basically what drove us to do this. So we wanted people who were going to definitely co-invest. No questions about it, right? That was a non-negotiable part of it, because we were going to co-invest with our investors, and we certainly believe in having skin in the game, so that when I'm talking to the investors, they know that I am definitely just as invested in this as they are. Because my money's at stake too. So, and certainly the people that we've partnered with regards to like key principals and sponsors in some of the deals where we were not the lead sponsors, those people have been folks that are just people of integrity, people who cared about, didn't just care about growing their wealth, but cared about the relationship building. They weren't short-term focused. They were focused on the long-term vision, and our vision is big. So we figured, you know what, those are good partners to have long-term, and it's worked out really well so far.
Okay, so next question will be, what is the major upside of your market, where you're actually looking for deals, and what is the upside about this? Do you like to have it in closed circle to your area basically, or you're working worldwide, or not worldwide, statewide?
Statewide. So our target market is really the Southeast, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Texas, Florida. Obviously, Texas and Florida is super hot, and it's really hard to get deals there. But we're certainly looking. But our main market, we have 2 deals where we're lead sponsors right now in Columbia, South Carolina. And we're certainly looking in Charlotte, North Carolina. We're looking in Spartanburg. We're looking in Greenville. We're looking in Charleston. We're looking in throughout Georgia, Savannah, Atlanta, obviously. We're looking in Macon. Decatur. Decatur. We're looking all over. And I mean, the dynamics, we usually like metro statistical area that have at least 100,000 people, obviously. We like places with increasing rent growth. We like places with increasing median household income. We like places with a diversity of employers. We like state capitals in particular. we like places with significant population growth that is also projected to continue into the next decade.
So which basically the strong market fundamental you're looking for, net immigration,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And no rent control.
And no rent control. So basically all of the Republican states.
Yeah, you could say that for the most part, but certainly I said that a little bit in jest, but for the most part, the fundamentals has to be there for us to buy in a city or state or area.
I think one of the subjects I didn't cover lately on the southeast coast and states is insurance. When you're underwriting the new deals with the states, what was the impact of having the new high insurance on your underwriting? And because on this state you have hurricanes and all of this natural disasters. So how you can mitigate the risk when you're doing your underwriting to get in consideration the high value of your insurance?
I see. Yeah. So, obviously there's no free lunch, obviously you get those great fundamentals down in the Southeast, but then you have all those other things that you just mentioned that potentially could increase your insurance risk. It's the balance, and so for me, I'm lucky to have a great partner who does almost all of our underwriting, and is just a genius with numbers. We have great relationships with insurance brokers, obviously, that give us all the quotes and that for us to insert those real quotes in when we underwrite in, so that we can be putting ourselves in the best position to be competitive when it comes to like placing our offers. But even when you think about it, taxes also are like pretty interesting in some of our sub-markets. For example, in Columbia, the taxes escalate significantly after you purchase, and to reflect the new purchase price.
It's almost double.
Exactly.
It's almost double.
So you have to be aware of that to make sure that you're fully underwriting that and that you have significant cushion in the deal, and that the deal still works well for your investors. Because we are projecting double-digit returns for the most part, and we are projecting excellent cash and cash. We're still doing between 5 and 8% cash and cash for our deals even now. To be able to hit all those metrics, we need to be able to have as close to the numbers that are going to be realistic numbers to plug into our underwriting. And we've been fortunate to have our client around us. We have a nice little system that helps us to get through the deal flow, underwrite this deal, send the offers in, and that's put us in positions to be in to win deals and also to be in best and finals pretty frequently.
100%. I think one of the main things you mentioned is the growth on the last 3 years. And I think one of the major things that help all of us as sponsors when you start your career on the first 4, 5, 6 years is the mentorship. So I was trying to ask you, who was like influential mentor in your career so far, help you to scale your portfolio?
Yeah. So, I mean, we've had multiple mentors. You know, you mentioned Greg Dickinson earlier.
Yes.
This was the coach of ours. Vic Raya, we talked about that in the prior to this starting.
Yeah.
Was one of our mentors, and his partner Ravi Gupta. So I mean, we've had multiple mentors, and some of our key principals, that have worked closely with us, are also mentors. And actually, I just don't have mentors within multifamily alone. I have mentors in development, because real estate is real estate is real estate. And there are things that you can still learn from folks that are whose focus is mostly development or core plus, core properties, or or even whose focus are like completely different from what I can current focus on because they think a little differently, and they may be able to show you or tell you a little bit about maybe some unique debt that you can get, on your properties. This is through folks like that I was starting to learn things like bridge to HUD. That's not something that's pretty common with most of the people in multifamily syndications. That's where I was hearing about unique debt structures that can be very beneficial to us and make us competitive in almost any market. So I have multiple mentors, and certainly mentors are important. Some mentors are like more mindset mentors, and some mentors are like actually subject specific mentors, and they've all been great. And there are some mentors that I've never seen. Like I read Har Arad's book, Miracle Morning. And that has been of great impact in my life. I consider him a mentor because guess what? I do silence, exercise, and reading every single day. Sometimes I don't get to affirmations, visualization, and scribing, but at least try to do 3 of the savers, So and that has been significantly impactful in my life, not just for my multifamily real estate life, but for my surgery life, for my family life, for all aspects of my life. It's been such a significant value add to have a morning routine that was focused on making me a better person, that was focused on growing me as a person.
I think the next one will be a funny one, which is how you describe your superpower.
My superpower?
Yeah. 20 years in US. What is your superpower in US?
Interesting. My superpower. Wow, that's a great question. I've never gotten that one.
No, you have a lot. Been surgeon, now real estate syndicators, immigrant from Nigeria. You have a lot of superpower. Don't say this. You have a lot.
So my superpower, I think, is just being able to read the room.
Okay.
And read nonverbal communications well. Yeah. I can feel people's energy and try my best to feed up. And based on that energy, I'm able to understand how to respond. And sometimes the response is not necessarily what you'd expect, but I, through a lot of educating myself and trying to bolster up my emotional intelligence, I'm able to kind of pick up on, even the things that are not necessarily being said. And ultimately, I also think my superpower is just it's the golden rule, treating the other person just like I would treat myself or my family member. It's worked really well for me in my life as an orthopedic surgeon. And it's worked really well for me in my life as a father and a husband. And certainly it continues to work well for me in multifamily real estate too.
I think being humble is a really great superpower. And you have this advantage. You're really humble and treating people, and
Thank you. You really, thank you. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I just didn't know about it. But then if I said I was humble, then I guess I'm not being humble.
No, yeah, correct. I think we can have a next episode with me and you about your biggest deal, so we can do analysis, so we can conclude this episode. But thank you so much for being with us today. But before I conclude, how the people can reach you and follow your success?
Thank you. They can reach us at xsitecapital.com. That's XSITE capital.com. We collaborate with our community of investors there to buy cash flowing multifamily assets. And my email address is Julius Oni at xsitecapital.com. I'm also on Instagram as The Bone and Real Estate Doctor.
It's a good one.
And on LinkedIn as Julius Oni. This is my first and last name. So, but yeah, people can reach me on any of those platforms. So just email me directly. I'm always happy to interact with people and engage with them. So thank you.
We're really happy to bring you again, as I mentioned, for another episode to focus on one of your deals, and we can do an actual overview about the underwriting. But until then, we're really happy that you had time today, and I hope you have a great day today.
Thank you so much, Adam. Thanks for the opportunity to speak on your platform and to talk with you and get to know you. Hopefully, we'll be doing some deals soon together, since you're also in
100%.
We in similar markets, right?
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Excellent.
100%.
Have a wonderful one.
You too.